Yo, you're not as cold as me, motherfucker, stop pretending. I'll murder you in front of your crib like John Lennon. Rip the tendons out of your muscle to cut the tension. I'm beyond your comprehension like related subatomic particles in fifth dimensions. Suspension in your breathing is what I'm leaving until a legion of demons whisper the meaning of life in your ear right before they make your motherfucking life disappear. But just cause you hear the multisyllabic grammatical, don't compare me to rappers that are on sabbatical, cause I never did business in little fucking Italy. I play checkers on triple decker tour buses in Tripoli. The way that you typically bicker with me inexplicably is a mystery that pisses me off ridiculously, because I'm lyrically beyond your level scientifically, specifically spitting out the spick in me prolifically. I'm the majority of America futuristically. After I die, fuck my music, you'll feel me spiritually. Darker than Sicily, ripping above the averages. You hold no weight like bitches after miscarriages, and your label produces no kids like gay marriages. I'm disparaging every fake dog rap in sight. That's why your faggot ass will never make it into the light. I'll crack your skull when I smash your face into the mic. And now you know what I'm like. I'll shook knight the industry. I feel like the spirit of Nat Turner got into me. You're infinitely hopeless. You sound like shit when you spit live like Jennifer Lopez. I'll massacre a rich rapper and all his broke friends and go to Club Cheetah rocking some blood-soaked Timbs, party crashing animal fucking model bitches, leaving their stick figure anorexic pussy in stitches. My verbal blitzes that outshine your offense. You watered down nonsense, and I'm 200 proof, choking a local youth in his homemade vocal booth. You're a fucking incompetent killer like Ray Caruth, and I'm Technique, the rawest nigga ever produced. I spit nastier than regurgitating period juice. So burn your fucking rhyme book, stay warm, and put it to good use. I'm about to drop like frozen airplane shit through your roof, and I'm sick of fake hustlers telling lies to the youth. You never robbed Dominicans, and you couldn't sling rocks if you was Palestinian. You broke motherfucker. You cats don't burn rubber. You niggas can't even get a fucking cab like Danny Glover. You ain't hardcore. I'll smack the shit out of your mother. You wanna be gutter? I'll leave you laid out in the street. Sign yours truly, the motherfucking immortal Technique.
And I think the idea that as well, they set off alarms in his building, like smoke alarms. Do anything to try and stop him exposing the game.
I can tell how desperate they are, right? I can tell how desperate. Right. They probably. So
I got
we good?
Mike, I think they shut off one of the settings within the
again with that in and out shit now.
Next time I'll be aware of that. So basically, just gonna do a recap real quick. This is RTTI City. Nigel Nicholson, out of Thunder. Part of the technical difficulties. No time, motherfuckers playing games with their fuckery. Even with this shit going, motherfuckers gotta find a way to fuck with us for the call. And you know what? It's been a successful call. So right about now, I'm just gonna go into what Nigel, Night of Thunder, both agreed upon, which is basically the sort of targeting going, work our way topics played by Nigel actually happens to have some articles to talk about tonight. So that's a good thing. Always blessed with that information. I'd like to put on the record now. I know this is recorded. It's Nigel's birthday. Happy birthday once again. And take it away.
Yeah, thanks, Artie. So one of the things that I was saying is that despite all the evidence that the United States has experimented on people, okay, has done illegal, non-consensual human experimentation on people, there are many people today who still don't believe that the government is capable of doing such a thing. Even when you presented them with the evidence, they'll say, oh, that was, 50 years ago, that was 70 years ago, 80 years ago, what have you, right? But not only do the government experiment on people without their knowledge, right, or sometimes, with their knowledge but not their consent, hospitals do it, okay? Universities do it, right? Sometimes universities are funded by the government to do non-consensual human experimentation. And as long as they're yielding the results, government will circumvent ways in which allow these universities or corporations to continue to engage in non-consensual human experimentation. So I want to read an article. Actually, there's two articles. I didn't read the second one, but, I read the first one. And this one is from the Dallas News, right? And this was from 2017, right? And it says, you could be part of a medical experiment that almost no one knows about, not even you. Now, the funny thing is that when you tell people that you're a non-consensual human experimentee, they kind of laugh at you, right? They're like, well, what makes you so important, right? What makes you, they like to ask very stupid questions. And I call it stupid, not in the sense of, not in a way of calling them stupid, but the fact that there is this cognitive dissonance within their psyche that doesn't allow them to think critically, right? To want to hear the truth, okay? And so it says, have you ever heard of non-consensual medical studies? Trauma victims may get a placebo instead of regular medical techniques. It is in the name of research. Have you ever heard of non-consensual medical studies in which trauma victims may get a placebo on alternative treatment instead of regularly used medical techniques? It's all in the name of science. Watchdog Dave Lieber investigates. If you suffer cardiac arrest and are taken by ambulance to UT Southwestern Medical Center in Dallas, you might become part of a medical experiment that tests different breathing assistance techniques used to revive you. You're probably unconscious, so this may be done without your permission. Unlike most medical experiments in which you must agree to take part, paramedics don't need to ask. You're a human guinea pig, and don't even know it. The watchdog first raised the alarm about these non-consensual medical experimentations in 2008, when many of our North Texas emergency room were participating in a study in which some trauma victims were given blood transfusion, while others were given highly concentrated salt solution instead. The experiment was halted by the federal government before its conclusion after patients who unknowingly received the salt solution died sooner than those who received blood. At the time, UTSW professor Dr. Ahmeded Idris told me that he remained enthusiastic about emergency medicine studies. I will be ecstatic if it shows we're saving people's lives, he told me in 2009. Now, 2 congressmen have joined the cause and have begun asking questions after learning how a woman died after receiving a placebo in an experiment different from the current one in Dallas. The congressmen wrote the National Institute of Health with their concern. That's how I learned there's now a Dallas study testing breathing methods used on cardiac arrest patients. No placebo involved here. The test involved the use of endotracheal intubation versus a laryngeal tube, and seek to discover which one helps a patient better survive at least 72 hours. Organizers are supposed to publicize the study. They tell me they rent booth space in big cities, festival, send news release, and buy advertising. But I missed it. Bet you did too. If you want to opt out, you can ask for an identifying bracelet or a necklace that you can wear to avoid being a guinea pig. Imagine that shit, right? You have to, what if the person is unconscious? You know, they can't give consent. But anyway, I digress. I'll show you how to get one if you want one. More of the bracelet in a bit. Experiments fly under the radar. The watchdog contracted the National Institute of Health for Information, the NIH, declined to comment, saying it will only answer the congressman. A spokeswoman referred to me to a website, clinicaltrials.gov. After poking around, I found the Dallas experiment. It began in 2015 and is scheduled to end by 2020. Cardiac arrest patients in Alabama, Oregon, and Pennsylvania are also involved. A spokesman for UTSW released 2 statements to the watchdog about the benefit of non-consent medical studies and the protocol that guides them. These non-consent studies, spokesman Russell Rain said, are appropriate because results can help save lives. Studies conducted under an exemption from informed consent at UT Southwestern involve rigorous protection and review processes. Examples of scientific gains from such trials, he wrote, are improvement in treating patients with heart stoppage, medication to improve blood clogging, and methods to reduce brain swelling. Dr. Henry Wang, who launched the UTSW study in Binghamton, Alabama, where he worked, issued a statement saying that non-consent studies are rare and only used when patients are in life-threatening situations and current treatment are unproven or unsatisfactory. A variety of methods are used to inform the public of these types of trials, including social media, local news coverage, and telephone outreach, he said. UTSW statement said the Med Center has talked with about 15,000 people to date, with about 95% indicating they want to be enrolled and receive the experimental treatment. Now, who, like, really? You know they're lying about this shit, right? Some of those have indicated they would not want to wear an opt-out every day for years. So basically, if you get this bracelet, you got to wear that shit around you on your arm for every single day. Okay, till the day you die if you live in that state. All right, Congress, take notice. The ban on performing medical experiments without permission became a bedrock human rights principle after the world learned of Nazi experiments. About 20 years ago, the Fed issued strict guidelines regulating any exception. U.S. Rep. Greg Walden, Republican of Oregon, and Tim Murphy, Republican of Pennsylvania, learned of a constituent whose unconscious wife may have been given a placebo in one of these experiments, different from the current Dallas study. The husband was present during the attempted revival, but no one asked his permission. The wife died. Later, the bereaved husband learned in a letter that his lost spouse has been part of the experiment. He sought answers from paramedics and local and county officials. The congressmen who are not identifying the constituent or where he lives want to learn if the federal government is doing enough to protect patients from harm. One congressional aide tells the watchdog, "We think it's a question worth pursuing." Right? Now check this out. Want out of medical experiments? Good luck. Now for the bracelet. If you don't want to be a guinea pig, you can order free a bracelet or necklace that states no EMS research. Sometimes bracelets say do not enroll or ROC, Rock stands for Resuscitation Outcome Consortium, one of the program's names. How do you get it? You can either call 214, whatever the number is here, or send an email, right? So back in, and I'll give RT the link to these articles. So those listening, you can go check it out yourself. Back in 2008, when I announced this, more than 150 Maltex enrolled in for bracelets from UTSW. Idris, professor of UTSW and leader of the blood salt transfusion trial, was exasperated with me. He told me that people contacted him. He explained the experiment and tried to persuade them to participate. He did the same with me. Now, you don't want an opt-out bracelet, do you really, he asked. I told him I did. This week, I tried unsuccessfully to contact Idris in charge of the ongoing breeding study at UTSW. See, these people, these professional people, right, particularly in the medical field, you know, they think because what they're doing could save lives. Now, it's not 100% certain that it will, but because they think that it could, right, that is enough to give them a reason to enroll you without your consent into some type of medical experiment. And as you see here, the author, he was surprised that people called in to say, hey, I don't want to be part of this experiment, right? Even when he tried to convince the reporter who wrote the article, okay? And so, you know, that's to show you the mentality of these people. And again, if they were the Nazis, the psychiatrists, the doctors, you know, thinking that they know what's best when they don't. It's an experiment. You don't know what the outcome could be. Okay, you can experiment on 400 people. Not all 400 people can die, right? Now, because of this idea that in your mind that says, well, you know, it could potentially help. But then what if it doesn't? What if it ends up killing everybody? Then what? You know, again, these people are just, it's really sad. But this shit still goes on today, right? So, a congressional aide I interviewed for this column says the bracelet presents a major flaw in the system. They aren't practical, he said, adding, are they going to wear their bracelet for the rest of their lives on the off chance they'll need it? The watchdog believes these experiments purposely fly under the radar. If the public knows, they may object. Did you know about this? And that's my point. Okay? And so that's the end of that article. There's another article, again, that I post, and this one is from Discovered Magazine. Okay? Same headline. You might be part of a medical experiment and not even know it. Okay? So, in the long view, modern history is the story of increasing rights of control over your body. For instance, in matters of reproductive sex, where you live and whom you marry, medical experimentation is supposed to be following the same historical trend, increasing the rights of autonomy for those whose bodies are used for research. Indeed, the Nuremberg Code, the founding document of modern medical research ethics developed after the Second World War in response to Nazi experimentation, states unequivocally that the voluntary informed consent of the human subject is essential. Every research ethic code since then has incorporated the most fundamental principle. Exceptions to this rule are supposed to be truly exceptional. Yet today, more and more medical experimenters in the United States appear to circumvent getting the voluntary informed consent of those whose bodies are being used for research. What's more, rather than fighting this retrograde trend, some of the most powerful actors in medical research are defending it as necessary for medical progress. And, it's the same. It's not just today, but yesterday, yesteryear, this decade, or what have you. A few years ago, I fell in with a growing group of professionals in medicine and allied fields such as bioethics who have mobilized to defend the right to informed consent in medical experimentation. As a historian of medicine, I have worked since 1996 with intersex rights groups, activists on improving care for children born with bodies in between the male and female type. In 2009, colleagues alerted me that a group of parents judged at risk of having a child born with a particular genetic intersex condition appeared to be unwitting subjects of medical experiments. See, that's the shit right there, right? Experimenting on people, right? Then these people have kids, and their children are born with both male and female parts. Now, I remember over 10 years ago, this doctor was talking about this chemical that was being used as a pesticide to spray over crops, right? That basically, when he ended up giving that chemical to frogs, the frogs' offspring, their offspring, was born with both male and female parts, right? I don't know if any of you remember that, but you guys could Google that. And he was talking about this stuff is being sprayed on food, and that's why we have a growing number of people who are being born with, male and female parts. Okay? There you go. Okay? All right. So, a major researcher and physician was promoting the prenatal use of a drug, dexamethasone, okay, aimed at preventing intersex development. Targeting would-be parents who knew they had this condition running in their family, the researchers told them that the treatment had been found safe for mother and child. In fact, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, FDA, has not approved dexamethasone for preventing intersex development. Much has found it safe to be used indeed. So there you go, doctors lie, right? Indeed, the FDA has noted that methadone causes harm in fertile animals exposed to it. No one seems to have told the parents that this treatment had not gone through anything like the normal route of drug approval. There has been no animal modeling of this use, no blind controlled trial for effectiveness, and no long-term prospective safety trials in the U.S. with thousands of fortresses appear to have been exposed. Shockingly, at the same time that this researcher was pushing the treatment as safe, she was obtaining grants from the U.S. National Institute of Health, NIH, to use the same families in retrospective studies to see if it has been safe. Wow. A Swedish researcher group has recently confirmed through fully consent prospective studies that this drug can cause brain damage in the children exposed prenatally. As I sought allies in defending the rights of these families, I discovered that while this was an especially egregious case of failure to obtain informed consent to what amount to a medical experiment, the lapse was not unique. Public Citizen Health Research Group, a Washington-based NGO, has been leading the work in tracking cases where medical researchers fail in their obligation to obtain informed consent. Recently, Public Citizen, together with the American Medical Student Association, sound the alarm about two clinical trials, one called iCompare and other FIRST. In these studies, researchers extended the working hours of newly trained physicians to see if their physicians and their patients were better or worse off, with the most inexperienced doctors working longer, more tiring shifts. Wow. So they even experiment on their own physicians, right? Their own physicians, their own doctors. Okay, and these are the newer doctors, basically, mostly. I mean, the mentality of these people. And on top of that, they will give these doctors longer shifts. When you know if you're tired, this is when you make a lot of mistakes, when you're tired. So not only are you putting the patient in danger, but you also putting the doctor, right, at fault and open up to lawsuits and, criminal liability. Shit is incredible. The young doctors using these studies were not given the option of not participating. If their residency programs participate, they were in. More concerning, their patients were never informed that they were experimental subjects. Even through a primary research goal was to see if patients treated by residents working longer shifts would experience higher rates of harm. So they were okay with, the patients being harmed, right? Some studies tracked by Public Citizen revealed downright bizarre ethical mistakes. A recent study funded by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, led by a U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs researcher, sought to determine whether, if brain-dead kidney donors' bodies were cooled after brain death, living patients of the transplanted kidney did better. The researchers decided they did not need to get voluntary consent to the experiment from the living kidney recipients. They simply maintained the dead donors were the experimental subjects. Okay? So again, even when, they're taking body parts from dead bodies, right, to the organ donor program, that the recipient receiving that organ donor is also part of the experiment. That shit is fucked up. It's on all sorts of levels. All right? Wow. So, the researchers decided they didn't need to get, okay, I think I read that, right? They simply maintained the dead body, right? So, the largest contemporary fight over failure to obtain informed consent has been over the sulfurcan positive airway pressure and pulse oximetry trial or support. This was a huge NIH-funded study meant to determine in part whether higher or lower level of oxygen after birth provided very premature babies would benefit or harm. The consent form for this study did not inform the parents that the experiment proposed was to see if for one or two experimental oxygen ranges, babies end up more likely to be blind, neurologically damaged, or died. Look at this shit. Yo, look at this fucking shit, right? But yet people don't think that these shit go on. And the same people that's saying or believing this shit, they themselves probably are part of the experimentation. Okay? That's just to tell you that they themselves are probably part of the experimentation. Okay. Okay. Right? That's an incredible thing that's happened and is happening. And yet, when it comes to experimentations, right, non-consensual experimentation, people don't believe the shit that this goes on. And these same people don't believe it. Walk into a hospital and they're also being experimented on. How is that for irony? Okay, man. Yo, this shit is unbelievable, right? So, most parents were not informed. Most parents also weren't informed that the researchers would use experimental measuring device meant to blind professional caregivers of the baby real oxygen level to try to make the study more rigorous. Researchers told many parents that the study involved no special risk because all the procedures in the research were supposedly standard of care. This was a demonstrable untrue claim. In this case, the U.S. Office of Human Resource Protection, an agency meant to protect the rights of people in federal funded research, agreed with public citizens and an allied group of more than 40 of us in medicine and bioethics that the informed consent for this trial was seriously inadequate. But in a series of emails meant to stay private, top NIH officials pressured the OHRP, which is the Office of Human Resource Protection, to back off its criticism. OHRP is supposed to oversee NIH work, not the other way around. So, the U.S. office that's supposed to oversee the NIH, right, which is the National Institute of Health, to make sure that they're not doing anything that's illegal and unethical. Okay, the NIH are the ones who, if the OHRP have any criticism, the NIH is the one that's telling them, hey, you need to back off. Okay, you back off. I mean, come on, like seriously. Okay, NIH leader also partnered with the editor of the New England Journal of Medicine to publicly defend this study, right? The journal's editor-in-chief tried actively to limit the ability of U.S. critics to respond. Meanwhile, the parents were never officially informed of what happened to their babies. Those defending these troubling studies often argue that elaborate consent procedures can get in the way of obtaining important scientific results. They say that subjects might encounter the risk of the experiments even in normal patient care, so we might as well engage them in studies without scaring them off through frightening research consent form. It is true that the current research ethics system in the United States is cumbersome, inefficient, and dysfunctional. Researchers often find themselves confused and frustrated by the bureaucracies of research ethics systems. But that is no excuse not to rigorously maintain the first principle of the Nuremberg Code. The voluntary consent of the subject is essential. We cannot afford to risk the medical research to medical research that sloppy ethics entail when the public finds out about the circumvention of informed consent, as in the case of the infamous U.S. Public Health Service syphilis studies in Tuskegee. The damage to the integrity and authority of the medical research community is inadvertently significant and long-lasting. The tenets of the Nuremberg Code were not meant only for Nazis. If Nazis presented the only danger to people being used for medical experiments, eliminating the Nazis would have solved our problem. The Nuremberg Code was written to guide all of us because good intentions are not enough. All right, and that's the other article. There's one more, right? This is from The Nation. It's called the CIA didn't just torture, it experimented on human beings. Reframing the CIA interrogation techniques as a violation of scientific and medical ethics may be the best way to achieve accountability. Okay, and this is article written December 16, 2014. Human experimentation was a core feature in the CIA torture program. The experimental nature of the interrogation and detention techniques is clearly evidenced in the Senate Intelligence Committee executive summary of its investigative report. Despite redaction insisted upon by the CIA to obfuscate the location of these laboratories of cruel science and the identities of the perpetrators. At the helm of this human experimentation project were two psychologists hired by the CIA, James Mitchell and Bruce Jensen. They designed interrogation and detention protocol that they and others apply to people in prison in the agency's secret black site. In its response to the Senate report, the CIA justified its decision to hire the duo. We believe the expertise was so unique that we would have been derelict had we not sought them out when it became clear that CIA would be headed into an uncharted territory of the program. Mitchell and Jensen's qualification did not include interrogation experience, specialized knowledge about Al-Qaeda, or relevant cultural or linguistic knowledge. What they had was Air Force experience in studying the effect of torture on American prisoners of war, as well as a curiosity about whether theories of learned helplessness derived from experiments on dogs might work on human enemies. To implement those theories, Mitchell and Jensen oversaw or personally engaged in techniques intended to produce stability, disorientation, and dread. Their theory had a particular means and relationship that is not well understood. As Mitchell testily explained in an interview on Vice News, the point of the bad cop is to get the bad guys to talk to the good cop. In other words, enhanced interrogation techniques. The Bush administration euphemism. Are you almost done? Okay. Yeah. Okay, so where was I here? So the Bush administration euphemism for torture do not themselves produce useful information. Rather, they produce the condition of total submission that will facilitate extraction of actionable intelligence. Mitchell, like former CIA Director Michael Hayden, and others who have defended the torture program, argue that the fundamental error in the Senate report is the elision of means, waterboarding, rectal rehydration. Rectal rehydration. Weeks or months of nakedness in total darkness and isolation, and other techniques intended to break prisoners and end manufactured compliance with the defendant's claim enable the protection of abundant intelligence that kept Americans safe. That claim is amply and authoritatively contradicted in the report. As Americans from the Beltway to the Heartland debate again the legality and the efficacy of enhanced interrogation, we are reminded that torture has lost its stigma as moral, reprehensible, and criminal behavior. That was evidenced in the 2012 GOP presidential primary when more than half of the candidates vowed to bring back waterboarding. And it is on full display now. On Meet the Press, for example, former Vice President Dick Cheney, who functionally topped the national security decision-making hierarchy during the Bush years, announced that he would do it again in a minute. No one has been held accountable for torture beyond a handful of prosecutions in low-level troops and contractors. Indeed, impunity has been virtually guaranteed as a result of various Prussian bargains, which include Golden Shield, legal memos written by government lawyers for the CIA, ex post facto immunity of war crimes that Congress inserted in the 2006 Military Commission Act, classification of secrecy that still shrouds the torture program, as is apparent in the Senate report redaction, and look forward, not backwards position that President Obama has maintained through every wave of public relations since 2009. The American majority, it seems, has come to accept the legacy of torture. Human experimentation, in contrast, has been politically refashioned into a legitimate or justifiable enterprise. Therefore, it would behoove us to appreciate the fact that the architects and implementer of black-site torments were authorized at the highest level of the White House and CIA to experiment on human beings. Reading the report through the lens casts a different light on questions of accountability and impurity. The war on terror is not the CIA's first venture in human experimentation. The dawn of the Cold War, German scientists and doctors with Nazi records of human experimentation were given new identities and brought to the United States under Operation Paperclip. During the Korean War, alarmed by the shocking rapidity of American POW breakdowns and indoctrination by the communist captor, CIA began investigating the mind control. Invested in mind control research. In 1953, the CIA established the MK Ultra program, whose earliest phase involved hypnosis, electroshock, hallucinogenic drugs. The program evolved into experiments in psychological torture that adapted elements of Soviet and Chinese models, including long-standing protracted isolation, sleep deprivation, and humiliation. The lesson soon became an applied science in the Cold War. During the Vietnam War, the CIA developed the Phoenix program, which combined psychological torture with brutal interrogation, human experimentation, and extrajudicial execution. In 1963, the CIA produced a manual titled Cuthbert Counterintelligence Interrogation to guide agents in the art of extracting information from resistant sources by combining techniques to produce stability, disorientation, and dread. Like the communists, the CIA largely eschewed tactics that violently target the body in favor of those that target the mind, systematically attacking all human senses in order to produce the desired state of compliance. The Phoenix program model was incorporated into the curriculum of the School of the American, and an updated version of Kubrick Guide produced in 1983 entitled Human Resource Exploitation Manual was disseminated to the intelligence service of right-wing regimes in Latin America and Southeast Asia during the global war on communism. So, as we see, during the 80s, when a lot of these countries, like in South America and in Asia, you know, they were going through, even in Africa too, right? Going through regime changes. You had a lot of brutality. This was because the CIA was given these information to a lot of these, people that they wanted to overthrow the government that the people elected in those countries. Incredible. In the mid-80s, CIA practice became the subject of congressional investigation into U.S.-supported atrocities in Central America, which I just spoke about. Both manuals became public in 1997 as a result of the Freedom of Information Act litigation by the Baltimore Sun that would have seemed like a never-again moment. But here we are again. This brings us back to Mitchell and Jensen because of their experience as trainers in the military survival, evasion, resistance, escape, the SERE program. After 9/11, they were contacted by high-ranking Pentagon officials and later by lawyers who wanted to know whether some of those SERE techniques could be reverse engineered to get terrorism suspects to talk. The road from extraction hypotheticals, can SERE be reverse engineered, to the authorized use of waterboarding and confinement boxes went straight into the terrain of human experimentation. On April 15, 2002, Mitchell and Jensen arrived at a black site in Thailand to supervise the interrogation of Abu Zabaza, the first high-value detainee captured by the CIA. By July, Mitchell proposed more coercive techniques to CIA headquarters, and many of those were approved by late July. From then until the program was dry docked in 2008, at least 38 people were subject to psychological and physical torment, and the results were methodically documented and analyzed. That is in the textbook definition of human experimentation. My point is not to minimize the illegality of torture or the legal imperative to pursue accountability for perpetrators, rather because the concept of torture has been muddled and disputed. I suggest that accountability would be more publicly palpable if we reframe the CIA program as one of human experimentation. If we did so, it would be more difficult to laud or excuse perpetrators as patriots who act in good faith. Although torture has become the Ross-Track test amongst political elites playing to public opinion on the Sunday morning talk show, human experimentation has no such community of advocates or apologists. All right, and that's the end of this article. All right, so I have to go because I got to go eat dinner. And I'll probably, I got to do this test. If I do this test, I'll probably come back and see if you guys are still on. But I just wanted to read those articles, all right?
Much appreciated, as usual. You know what I mean? Do me a solid before you go and do that test, man. Send me the links to those articles, you right?
Yeah.
So that way I could just add them to the description box after I upload the call. All right, man, we'll be here probably for the next hour max. You know what I mean? Okay. So if you would like to come back, more than welcome to. Not a problem. You know what I mean? But again, man, those were great articles. I got some questions for you, but I know you got to go. If anything, we'll see if you could come back and we'll go to the questions and answers then. If not, then I'll just ask you, call. All right. Tomorrow or some shit like that. All right, I know you got to go, man, so I'm going to let you go now, and I'm going to wait till, let me see, because I think, Road True 7, he's in the building. He's been listening in on the call. Now the Thunder, you still there? I don't know if nights today, probably fall asleep, man. But, Raw, if anything, man, the floor is open to you to say whatever you want to say. If you want to let us know about your targeting, what's been going on,
Yeah, it's been, I already texted you earlier on how everything's been, you know what I mean? Like, I'm kind of like let it settle for a second because it was getting kind of like crazy. It's like, where I'm working at, it's a big building, just things are just going bad everywhere, and it's just within only 2 weeks of working there, you know what I mean? We can have whatever, it's crazy, man. Like, they just don't stop, like, how, like, we film them, they're filming us now, it's getting bad over here. Like, I mean, it's just, the tactic like they always do, you know what I mean? Like, hey, we're watching you, like the neighborhood watch. It's like same thing, man. Same old shit, but just amped it a little bit, How things over there?
We already spoke on that. That's the reason why I feel that they do it, because I've heard other TIs talk about this in regards to why they film us. One is to instill that paranoia of constantly being watched. The other is Because I heard that they don't get paid unless they get, you know, images or video,
Right.
pictures of us, and they upload it to some sort of server, some sort of, you know,
Right.
system that
I've heard
verifies
that as well.
that's the people who put it. Watch, quote-unquote, members of government.
Oh, they're doing something to the call, bro. I hear it.
The message voice.
I heard a beat too.
Okay, yeah, that's them. Let them do what they do, man. That's not gonna stop anything. These bitches, they try to do that. Let them do whatever they gotta do. It's gonna continue going forward. All they can do is delay the call or fuck with it a little bit. I will
Right.
find a way to try to make it go back the way it was at some point. You already know how they do it. Yeah, man, that's what I've noticed and what I've learned when it comes down to it, that it boils down to them having some sort of interest for those two reasons. You know what I'm saying?
Like they're trying to study us like we're in a zoo or something.
There you go. I was wondering where you
It's
went.
like when they film the animals and they get the best of the animals kind of shit. That's how they see it.
That too. I mean, but this guy, he had a main frown and he was just kept looking at me. He wasn't even hiding it, you know. And I was on my way to work, and I just gave him the bird. I was just like, you know.
Same here. I fell asleep earlier, so apologies if falling or something. Yeah, they did that to me today. You know, obviously, I just that exact same thing. Old stare game. All the antics, the revving, the staring me down, coughing, all that bullshit. With the lockdown, they still try and find a way to target us and get around it and do all the things that they're doing. Yeah, I won't be surprised if they've got some kind of little private, you know, database on us of pictures of us and stuff, but I'm sure they've got the same for the perps on a lot of them. I bet they've got databases on them, the handlers and whatever, to keep them in mind. Very demented little program. Very sociopathic.
I remember you mentioning to me that you wanted to put down on the record. I don't know if you already put all of it. I know you.
But sorry, they cut your voice off.
Voice off? You can't hear me?
Heard some of it, but then they cut it off.
Okay, how about now?
Yeah, I can hear you okay now.
All right. So basically, what I was asking you, if you don't mind, like going into what your targeting has been like. I know you already did like a little something, but if you want to go all out and just detail pretty much what they've been doing and shit, put on the record and document on the call. You know what I mean?
All right, I'll do that and then I'll get off because I need to get some.
Totally understand, man.
Yeah, I literally fell asleep without realizing that.
Yeah, I figured because I was like, yo, night, then I asked for you, you didn't say nothing. Then all of a sudden, after the raw truth said what he said, then you started talking. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, that's never happened to me before. I literally fell asleep and then I woke up. I was listening to Nigel and then I woke up to his raw truth. I was like, oh shit. Yeah,
so good, man. You could always play it back. That's what's great about having a call like that, man. You could always listen to it.
Yeah, definitely. I think I got most of it, but
right. Yeah, all right, man. So without any further ado, man, you can just go right ahead and what you want to say in detail on the call and document. You could do so right now. You got the floor, brother. I understand you got to get some rest, man. Time that you knocked out anyway.
So like 2 or 3 o'clock here. Yeah. So basically today, you know, they came out of the blue with the targeting and it got quite heavy. So it started off. One thing they've been doing is like trying to, you know, because we've got the social distancing and all that stuff going on. So they've been basically trying to gradually creep towards me, I guess to make me feel uncomfortable that they're getting into my space somewhat. And they've been doing that for the last couple of days. They've also been, you know, me like this smirk on the face. That's one thing they've been doing. So today they did that. But you know, I went on a bike ride with my family, so I was with them, and they started being very aggressive with the targeting. car went past, and as soon as it went past us, it started revving the engine up really loudly, and I was like, oh, here we go, they're doing all that. So we went to this place. As soon as I got to the place, it was like it was synchronized. This guy on like Harley Davidson or something like that, some expensive like power bike or whatever, comes out with like So after that, I go up this track, because my mum wanted to go to this church, because it's like a church, and there's like a farm next to the church. So we're walking up, public access land, so it's not private, footpath through there. We're going up, and then this guy on the bike is slowly coming up behind where I am, like looking at me. So I'm looking at him. He's like slowly creeping up, and he just says to my mum, oh, I've got the keys to the church if you want to go in the church. And me and my mum were like, no, okay. So then he kind of rides to the left of me, looking at me, and then rides back. I'm like, okay, they're trying to intimidate me or something like that, So I basically, after we looked around and whatnot, going down, he's gone, I guess because he's in a house or something, there's like a house next to it, and he stood by the house, staring at me. So I'm staring at him back, and he was just staring at me non-stop. So I just gave him the middle finger, and then this car was coming down. I don't know if the person in the car was a perp or not, but I think he was, because he didn't say anything about me sticking my middle finger up, which is something these perps do. It's like they'll ignore you sometimes when you blatantly, target them back. So I just blatantly targeted them back. I had a row with my family because, my mum was like, oh, he did nothing wrong. So all he was doing was trying to tell us, what was going on. But it was like, no, it wasn't what he said, it was what he was doing. And what he was doing was, I felt like he was trying to intimidate me and, basically get in my space and, use the motorbike or whatever as a way to harass me. Because how these people, they like to use vehicles and revving and all that stuff to harass people. Part my targeting. After that, I went back home and, I had to wait in the yard and the house because they had the keys to the house and they were further back. When I was there, there was this guy in a car, and he was, I just seen him coming back because there's like a public toilet near the house. So he came out there and went into the car, and then, I was in the car for a little bit, like watching me, and then I was watching him. Then he came out of the car, went up the road, only a short distance, like a pointless distance. Like it didn't make any sense. It was like he was trying to mask the surveillance, because that's pretty much what it was. It was like he was surveilling the front of the house by, it was like masking it by walking on the road, acting like that's why he was there. So he went back in the car. Then he started reading like a book, but at the same time he was looking at me. So I started targeting him back. Like I started, doing hand signals and stuff that they do to me to target him. He then started the engine of the car and, basically drove off. So I just waved at him, because I knew this guy was a perp. Then after that, I guess they weren't happy, so they sent a biker down who, as soon as he went past me, he did like the fake cough, and then they had a couple with a kid going to the bus shelter next to the house, and not the woman, but he started targeting me, the guy there. He started doing the coughing bullshit. I just started targeting him back, and then they decided to go. So, yeah, they were really stepping on the targeting. Just before this call, I have it on video as well, there was a house alarm going off, which was going off for about, an hour at least. nearly every day there's been another house alarm that goes off for short bursts, which I tried to capture this morning but failed because it was very quick and it was over before I was able to get the camera app up on my phone. Yeah, they're basically, using the perps in this area where I'm at now to target me. Yeah, that's basically what's been going on today. May have missed some stuff, but
Alright. Yo, man, you gotta go, man, 'cause you gotta and that. Not from you. I already know. Anything you can highlight me tomorrow, you already know the time frames. I told you, anything, I'll send you a reminder via email. You know the days. But I'll send you an email anyway just to remind you, alright?
Alright, no problem.
Alright, man, sleep well, brother.
Alright, man. I'll speak tomorrow.
Alright, bro. Peace.
Alright.
Yeah, Road 27, well, going back to what you were stating earlier, man, you had said that we've been talking, off the record and whatnot. So I know there's certain things you don't want on the record. I understand that. That's not an issue. My thing with me is, what is it that you wouldn't mind putting on the record as far as the targeting? That's
Right. And I just said for now, because let shit just simmer,
Right, no, but what I'm saying is, what would you not mind putting on the record?
Oh, okay, yeah. I mean, the same old screaming ladies, screaming, I got that on footage and that's loaded up, she was just yelling at traffic, just yelling, certain things that would happen in my day, but I think what it is they're supposed to say things that normally happen. It's just amped up, you know what I mean? She's there to be there, say a certain thing, and that's it. She don't know anything, Like, she just screaming and, try to cause anxiety and stress and, all that shit. And, it's pretty much what it is. Like, they're just, amping it up and making things difficult, and as far as, like, walking around town, like, I wear my mask, wash my hands, wash my face, and and like when I'm walking to town, it's pretty much ghost town. I mean, you'll see cars going by, but no one's walking around. Just the gang stalkers,
Way over here.
The normal people aren't even out anymore, normal people aren't even out. You can see them, like, clearly, because they're trying to get money, and they have to keep recycling, go to another area, whatever, Yeah, I got one mean mugging me right now. Great. Fun. But, they're going to continue what they're doing, They ain't going to stop us from what we're doing. Yeah. But good thing on the record, on Amazon, you can get the 1 pound of the Harataki. I was going to bring that up. For like $14-15, and if you have like Amazon Prime, it's free. Like the shipping, you just pay tax. And I ordered some of that. You can buy the pill maker too. I bought that too. Make sure you get the right size to fit the pills, though. And then after that, you get the capsulated pills. They're only like $10. A $50 investment, but it's well worth it. You don't have to keep on buying the stuff from the store where, like, it's, you get 90 of them for, $30 or something like that, and then turn around and then next few months you got to buy another, $30 of it, and it lasts longer. Mine I can use for like 6 months straight, 5 or 6 months straight, because it's a 1 pound bag, But I'm just trying to, stock up food, save money. That's what anyone should be doing right now. If you're working or getting unemployment or food assistance, yeah. I mean, that's what pretty much just try to keep my routine going, and Stay sane. Well, because I mean, a lot of these people, they're gonna keep doing what they're gonna do, you know, and they don't care. It's no morals. It's kind of bad right now, you know. A lot of.
The way I do it, man, is I counter as much as I can.
Yeah.
And I get at them every chance I get. And I know that as much as they do this shit, I'm not going to stop either. I'm going to make it my business to let them know that every chance I get. And they know that. You know what I'm saying? That's why with me, they know not to fuck around so much. You know what I'm saying? Because I come at them hard. Fucking hold back. You know what I'm saying? So the thing is, you got to know how to balance that out for yourself.
Right.
Some people don't want to do that at all. Some people, and I understand that, some people rather not acknowledge that shit or try to ignore that shit, and that's totally them. That's however it works best for them. Go ahead and do it. You know what I mean? Like, if you can't handle the backlash, or if you can't, you know, handle whatever they want to do back or whatever, don't do it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But this is the thing. According to how you go about doing what you're going to do, just make sure that you're relentless with it. You know what I'm saying? Don't give them a chance. Because the most that they're going to do is talk shit, try to make you, you know, react and do something to them so you could get arrested, that sort of thing. You know the game.
Right, yeah. Right.
But they know that they're going to get rocked if they try to do some shit on some one-on-one shit in a dark alley by yourself. No one there, no cops, no nothing. They know that. That's why they got to group up on you and use couples to try to come around and do funny little shit. But they'll never do the shit on their own. You know what I'm saying? They'll talk that shit like they big and bad. They'll do all those funny types of things to make you think that they're going to do something. Big bad wolf status and all that.
Right.
Wearing a mask and shit. You know what I mean? That's how they hide their identity and all that. They don't fucking want to do the shit on some real shit. You know what I mean? So that's why I don't even pay them no mind. I treat them like the bitches that they are. But that's according to the situation, according to the person, according to how you're going to go about it, man. You know what I mean? I, myself, that's just me. I think that this far, as far as I've gotten, 4 years later, through my awakening process, I'm doing pretty fucking all right. You know what I mean? Thanks to God, thanks to situation where I've been blessed to come across people like Nigel, the squad, you know what I'm saying, and learn from other people online as far as books, as far as information, real information, not the misdirection and disinfo that's out there by the masses, you know what I'm saying? I've learned to weed out that shit. You know? And a balance of working out, training with my MMA, you know what I'm saying? And that's been keeping me leveled mentally, physically, and emotionally. And now, spiritually, that's another story.
Right.
But
you know, I mean, we're going through the trials right now. So I mean, you know, everything, like how I think of it is, everything is permissible. It ain't beneficial. Yeah, if you're doing shit intentionally, that's another story, though. You know what I mean? Like, it's something that you've done wrong on accident. You know what I'm saying? First, as the individual. But these motherfuckers are another story, though. You know what I mean? This shit's crazy, bro. You know?
I totally know what you mean. You just in general. You're saying how actually go about doing this fucking job as a living. They don't care hurting people logically or physically, even because I'm sure some of them get to use these directed energy weapons. Not in everyone, because that would be fucking chaotic to put that in the hands of a idiotic perp. You know, so I know it's more or less on a level where it's overseen by these motherfuckers that are handlers, and they only let them get but so far with it. You know?
Right. And that was one thing I was going to say about the AI. This shit they're using a lot more now. Like, I'm noticing, because there's not a lot of people out there, just using whoever's, I mean, if they're maybe not, I'm saying maybe if they are a regular person, or even if they're not, like, you know, like, what I'm saying is, like, when I've been, just walking down the street or whatever, and then all of a sudden, like, something at that moment happens, you know what I'm saying? Like something while I'm right there in real time, and they say it like some object that's in my pocket or whatever. You know what I mean? Like. Nothing was happening at first, and then now, everywhere. It's just crazy, bro. Most of these people are fucking drug addicts, too. Like, there they go.
Well, stuff. I'd like to take this chance right now to welcome Nappy Head Roots in the building. What's up, Nap? What's going on, man?
All right. The Roots.
Hey, what's going on?
Well, they started up again. I had a good run at it for a week or so, you know, and then there they go. They're at it again, you know.
I got it, man.
You know.
Yeah, these motherfuckers, bro. Man, I don't know if you've seen any of the latest videos, man, but they're coming in swarms and shit.
Yeah. Just right now, I just got swarmed by like 6 or 7 different individuals all at once, just passing through at my location, just like, what the fuck, you know? Some Truman Show shit.
Right.
One dude acting like he's digging in the garbage. 2 dudes walking by me doing nose cuts. You know, this same shit. You know.
Yeah.
What's been going on, Nap? The latest.
Man, being overran by these motherfuckers, man. Like I get no sleep now. I get sleep. When I do get it, it's good sleep, but lately it's been all bullshit, man, because they like sending motherfuckers to play their music and ride their motorcycles and their Fast and Furious rice rockets all over the place and shit. So it's sad, man. Hanging in there though.
Yeah, the other day they had a group of bikers right when I came outside. They were rolling down the street, just popping wheelies, and then pointing towards my way. I was like, okay, here we go again, you know. It's pandemonium out here, man.
Gotta constantly adapt to this shit.
Yep. Yeah, you know, I was telling RT, well, you know, I'm gonna just say some things, you know, that happened, you know, just my work is getting kind of more tougher, you know, dealing with things now, all of a sudden since I've been there now, you know, just yesterday it was just chaotic. Usually easy ride. Things are malfunctioning, you know, shit happens. You know? Fuck. Don't understand it, you know? And check this out. They got right across the street on the next two parking places, they have tents set up now. All these tents. I don't know what they're for. And they have one where it's a canopy and it looks like you can drive through it, you know what I mean? And you know, and then one is closed. I don't know if they're going to be starting testing people or whatever, you know. I mean, I don't know what's going on because they don't have no I don't think they're testing people because they would have to put tarp on the bottom of the you know what I'm saying, on the ground, or some kind of, you know, sterilizing, you know, fabric to, you know.
Oh, you know they're going to be cross-referencing people, right?
Nuh-uh.
If you've been to any place where they have the facial recognition and shit, and somebody say you go to the store and somebody goes to the same store as you go to with the COVID-19. If they got the facial recognition in that store, then if, you know, depending on how long it's been since you've been to the store from that person, they'll come knocking on your door, bro.
What the fuck? Yeah, this is just getting way out of line, dude.
Yeah, it's way out of pocket, man. They're talking about that.
They're using this whole COVID-19 bullshit to bring upon that New World Order shit little by little, man. Taking their time with it, you know what I mean? Like, trying to make shit look controlled, trying to make, you know, implementation. Well, we know, we're seeing it and hearing it. Fucking news through what they're doing to people little by little. There's states now where they're fucking giving tickets for people who aren't wearing masks. I understand the whole shit about this being serious, right? But you got people that may not be aware of certain things. They go out of their way to fucking make them feel chastised, ostracized, man. It's almost like, yo, didn't you hear? Aren't you paying attention? You know, I understand that there are knuckleheads out there, right? But I'm talking about regular people that are older and shit like that, that may have their money situation not be good right now. Can't afford that. Instead of yelling at them for not having, you know what I'm saying, the proper attire, why don't you give them for free something? Have places that give that stuff out and give them information. So motherfuckers are actually giving people tickets. I can understand people will being knucklehead about it. Again, man, that goes to show you the direction that this is heading. Using this shit. We think that way. Like, we're not gonna wait for a virus situation like this, a pandemic situation. This, we're gonna use and milk it for all it's worth. How these people think.
Yep. Did you hear about all the people protesting in Michigan? They were holding like 2 guns each, too.
What happened?
All out there. Yeah. In Michigan, they're protesting at their state capitol, like protesting, you know what I mean? To go back to work, you know? Like, you know, and they're holding like 2 guns each. A peaceful rally, and it was most peaceful, too. No one got hurt. Nothing. But, you know, you have other media outlets that are trying to make them look bad, though, you know?
They're holding 2 guns?
Yeah, like, they're armed, bro, you know? Holding their guns, safety and everything, bro. Like, yeah, real talk, dude. It's crazy.
I've seen shit as far as Dominican Republic, where I'm, you know, my roots are from. I've seen shit on the news over here in the Spanish news. They're going over there, taking people's temperatures, allowing them to stop.
Wow.
Yeah, it's slowly different parts of the world. From I know big restaurants, social distance, all of that stuff, man, plays a role. People,
Anxiety, social, sorry about that. My buddy, my roommate, coughing.
worries.
Yeah. But yeah, it's nuts, dude. Like, even in the grocery stores, though, too, they're more lax about it over here, you know? And the reason I think it's because, like, people are already practicing them. A lot of these people are, like, they followed this protocol. This has been instilled because this is a military city, you know what I mean? And so they're already practicing. People aren't standing next to each other or a bunch of dum-dums, you know, like when you go to, like, 7-Eleven or something and someone's sneaking right by you to see your PIN number and shit like that, you know, it's like they're already practicing this shit. You know, it's weird, you know, so, and they're taking big precautions. Sanitizer, they wipe everything after every few orders, you know, like, it's crazy, dude. Wearing gloves, face masks, like, goggles, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I do that at work, dude. I mean,
Yeah.
sure.
Of course.
So, as safe as I possibly can.
That's smart.
I don't knock that.
Yeah.
It's supposed to show you. sign of the times that we're in. Who'd have thought it would hit?
Dude, it's a plague, you know what I mean? Killing humanity slowly. And it's only a small amount of people, but still, nature's letting us kind of know that, like, it ain't playing around, you know? Like, there needs to be some moral structure in society, you know? And I think that's kind of nature's way of, even if this thing is man-made, we're still dying from it, and it's letting us know, like, hey, take precautions, you know? Don't be, you know, doing stupid shit, you know, like, you know, take precaution, like, you know, you wear gloves at work. I have to wear gloves and stuff like at work, too, like face masks and stuff like that, you know? We have to be extra tight on stuff, you know?
Yeah, it's definitely intelligent not to, man.
Yeah.
Especially with the public, some level.
Mm-hmm.
So Nappy, man, what's going on with the dogs? How they doing?
Oh, they good. I think well, I know they've been hitting me with something because my, excuse me, I'm smoking, my shoulder. I don't know if you know how it feels like when you work out, like do pull-ups and shit, and your shoulder, your trap, like shoulder part, it feels like it's torn. Well, it is torn. It feels like that. And then like yesterday when it was feeling like that, you know, one of my dogs was throwing up and shit. And then like when I moved, the pain, like I left that area and the pain like immediately went away. Like no traces of it, anything.
Like directed energy?
Yeah, I'm thinking it's directed energy. It has to be, man.
They've been using AI on me.
That you're feeling and that's showing, like you're showing.
No, my skin wasn't showing nothing. Like I, you know, like I was working out, and like it was like felt like my muscle was torn. You know, like when it's healing back and it hurts to move like your arm and shit.
Right.
Yeah, it felt like that. And then like you know, I was dodging it and shit, and it just wouldn't go away. And then I left the area, and that shit left.
I would have put it past these motherfuckers doing some shit like that. Very well known. Directed energy weapons and microwave frequency. Out on public. Also when we're in ending with, you know, hacking devices to the direct. That's like the last resort. Like that. In my opinion. I'm no. That's what it seems like to me.
These motherfuckers.
I was speaking to a female TI. You know, she mentioned to me the day she was at home downstairs or something like thump, something like oh, quick to check it out. Was find that it was a loaf, 2 loaves of bread, knocked off where they were on the table. I was like, "Buddy, home." I got that happened to me where I was in the kitchen and boom, I had this pile of books that all stacked upon each other. Now I know that I stacked them up in such a way that they wouldn't just fall that easy. it would take some sort of force to move that shit. So through time, you know, I started realizing that these people have the ability to manipulate the electromagnetic frequency around us into a sonic pressure, combine both with technology. That, you know, this is how women sometimes that are TIs, that are real TIs, are sexually assaulted by the weapon, feel like getting penetrated and shit with like some, you know what I mean, like that sort of thing. Somewhat kind of that same technology to either knock things over or and I'm pretty sure they've used it before. Get people thinking that it was a paranormal event that took place, like spirits and ghosts and shit like that. Single cases. So there's some out there have to do that thing. When do that same exact feeling into the eyes, whether it's some sort of intimidation to feel like, you know, got paranormal events happening around you and shit. Like if you a TI and you don't know about that technology, you would swear like somebody's there fucking with you or there's a spirit in the house. You know what I'm saying? Again, I'm not trying to knock or say that there is a thing as spirits and things of that nature. And there's people that will even go as far as saying that people would astral project, shit like that to you. I wouldn't doubt that there's a possibility of all of that. What I'm saying is that there's also the technology that can be manipulating the environment from people who have them near you, and it can make you think that it's paranormal. Okay? It's deep, man. I don't know if y'all ever heard that shit like that. You've been around for a minute, man. I don't know if you've ever heard any PI say something like about the technology being used to get them to think something fell over in the room or thumping the wall or some shit like that. Heard that?
Yeah, I've heard him say that before.
You know, I've seen and I've heard certain TIs talk about it, but they don't go in depth. They don't go too deep into it. They don't say much. There are a few things about it. Now, they'll leave it at that. I think there's a lot more of that shit going on, but certain TIs are hesitant to talk about it because it'll make them look and sound crazier. Which I understand. It does have that connotation to it, unfortunately. It does, you know, have that unfortunate stigma to it because these motherfuckers, they want us to look and sound crazy. So that way it'll discredit us automatically. But if you know what you're talking about, connect with a TI that knows how to articulate that fashion where people can't debate this, say that it's not true or that the guy's bugging out, whatever the case is. You have people at least educated enough to understand it, realize, yo, it exists. Put it like this, if you don't have nothing to cross-reference something with, if you don't know a definition of something, you don't know if this shit is even there, how you going to cross-reference? So what I mean by that is being ignorant, something that helps them out to a huge extent. Them knowing about shit is what kept them in power for such a long time. Like, that's something that other people don't know about. Only a small group of people know about it. It is like history repeating itself over and over again. Who's done that? And many people that have done that. You know? And I'm sure to a certain extent, it had to be somebody that did that with the creation of, you know, secret societies, elite ones, the ones that control the world for real. Sure that the ones that are there because they've discovered some shit that most people aren't privy to know, but they know it, and they own that shit. Kind of like owning the rights to something, But it's not that they own the rights to it. It's just that they know about it. They discovered some shit. And with that, they could hold it over the heads of the rest, get them to think and believe otherwise, unless they get educated about it. See how that works? In other words, it's like they had some shit happen, and I forgot the exact example, so I'm paraphrasing. It was something that was done, like some sort of, I guess you could call it, way to convince somebody they want you to do. With people in a cave, they were chained up, facing front, not the entrance of the cave, but facing like back of it, the wall, chained, facing that wall. What they did was they put a light behind them. Whatever came out behind them would scare the crap out of them because the shadow would look so big. But when they come to find out that all it was somebody playing tricks on them to make them think that it was a spirit or an evil entity trying to fuck with them. So this goes back to, I would say, almost caveman times. We're doing shit from those times, you know what I mean? Doing things that they knew about that other people didn't know how to manipulate, how to make people think something that's there that's not there. Like parlor tricks, lack of a better one. Don't know about shit.
Definitely makes sense.
Good?
Yeah, I'm here.
Good. And point that different ways. One, I've discovered that themselves are able to get people otherwise. Called The Man Who Would Be King. Sean Connery, Michael Caine, protagonist of that, came out in the 70s. This guy had on a necklace that had a pyramid with a pulsating eye on it. He didn't really know the power behind it. Acted like an emblem, talisman, and shit. So he was wielding. They ended up in some village. For that, the natives, they were living like caveman types. They were more civil area. When they were gonna kill them, they were gonna fuck away with them. But when they were stripping them of their clothes and shit, guy's emblem made all those motherfuckers freeze and kneel to the ground in front of him. They thought he was God. Apparently, announced to him that OCI, very, very, very strong. They probably were taught that had that is knowing God had it. Not in worship mode. Kind of using that lack of a better example on invitation. Important to learn. Sometimes the things that we might find like all time helping us. But when you what do you notice out there, man? anything. Hear it. Like it's not the same. Where it's like they see teams. Like
honestly, bro, it's like these people are possessed or like under some type of. Oh no, I'm smoking. Sorry about that. Under some technological, fucking, like they've been hacked into with some technology. They're like fucking.
would it be fair to say that you mean on some Matrix type holograms?
Not like that. Well, it's like they're there, but they're not there. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to see some of the videos, bro. Like, like motherfuckers doing karate in the street and shit.
Oh, wait. That one I forgot to tell you about. That shit was hilarious, though, man. I was peeping that shit. Fucking dude was shirtless, trying to do like some fake ass kung fu shit in the middle of the street looking at you.
Yeah. That's how.
Tape recorder mouse. Came out of West Bumblefuck again. Clockwork, man. 6 pack, right?
Man. It's way before it was I least expect, bro. It's like, put it like this, bro. Like, this is the most theatric shit I've been going through this past week. It's like goofballs times 10, bro. And they're coming in packs. Like, they're swarming. They're swarming, bro.
People, all this shit during a crisis or supposed crisis. They like, that shit is affluent.
Yeah, man, excuse me, I'm sorry about that. Yeah, man, I'm not getting it, bro. Somebody left the memo. Like, it's a whole new, it's like it's a whole new script that they're pulling.
A lot of different behavior in people too. It could be because of the, just people panicking and shit, and then, they say the future and it's a little bit. Okay.
But I will say it's not. I'll say that it's not as much, but when it is, that's when they do it, they go hard.
Right. Same here. The moment I step outside and go anywhere, it's like there's no one out, and then all of a sudden, street to street to street, it's like they move in synchronization from block to block, like they're already programmed right there. You know what I mean? Like how the hell they know to move? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like you can't. It's like, why would you risk your integrity, morality, and I mean, just for all this, people are, dying, you know what I'm saying? There's dudes that are like, like I've seen a couple of videos on Facebook, people jumping off of, like roofs and shit, and screaming, One of them I think was fake, but I mean, it's crazy. Like, they don't know how to handle this shit. There was another one where they were in Ecuador, I think. Ecuador?
Peru, and they were like people who had the COVID. They were like killing them and burning their bodies in the middle of the street. Like, oh shit, they were burning bodies so it wouldn't spread. You know what I mean? But it's like, why would you be touching an attack? You know what I mean? Like, it's causing people to do stupid shit, you know. But on the positive side, I've seen a lot more people wanting to come to God, or you know, they're being more nicer to people. You know what I mean? Like, there's few people I've seen where the regulars they don't even do anything or even want to know anything about you. They'll just say hi, like, hey, how you doing? Everyone's saying hi, like from the store people. But on the other end, this thing is making people really, really mean too. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's almost like society is weeding itself out. You know what I'm saying? From good versus evil in a way. If that makes any like logical or scientific sense, you know.
It does.
You know, it's like science is doing that. You know what I'm saying? This virus is doing that. You know. I'm still gonna be holding doors open. I'll say yes, ma'am, yes, sir. You know, that ain't ever gonna change about me. You know, like I'm still gonna be ignoring people who don't give two shits about me. You know, it's the way I always am, and I'll never change that. I definitely do notice a behavioral change in people. Even friends, certain friends that, you know, I know they're just more, don't give a fuck anymore, you know, it just reveals it, you know, it's like, well, shit, I only need, like, you know, like what you sent me about Joey Diaz, just give me a handful of motherfuckers, and we're going to take on the whole world, you know? I don't need anybody else, dude, like, you know, I'm going to take care of myself and still be nice and do good deeds, but, I mean, I don't have to say it out loud, like, oh, I'm doing a good deed or anything, but just on continuing what I'm doing. You know, come home, go to work, get what I need, wash my hands, take a shower, whatever I need to do, go back to sleep, repeat the process till all of this is over with. You know, I mean, no, it's not so bad here. LA, it's they don't know how to listen out there, you know, like from what I've been hearing and seeing on the news, you know, but in other outlets, it's crazy, you know. Anything from there is gonna come here. You know what I mean? Sorry about that, guys. LA is wrong. Yeah. You know, I'm just worried about LA because it's like, you know how it is already. You know, like I don't even have to get into conversation. It's just everything from there comes down here. You know what I mean? And it's like, you know, we don't want to be affected with that shit. You know, for right now, it's being, you know, it's the numbers are slowly rising. They're not like how it was in New York or, you know, Ohio or Chicago or any of those places. You know, it's slowing down. You know, so that gives me head above water. You know, and yeah. Oh, certain places too, like where I'm at right now, there's no new guests that can come in. Let's say if me and my friend, we're on a lease, we can't have any guests over. You know what I mean? There was one person who tried to bring someone in, you know, and there was two people that were coming in. They were like homeless and they were coughing and stuff. You know, supposedly from the story I was hearing, I wasn't there when it happened, but you know, they were coughing. They're like, "Now you guys gotta get out," and then they started putting signs on the door like "No more new guests." You know, yeah, you heard about that, Jonathan? No more new guests here. You know, like they're not. They put a stop to that shit. And they're just because I mean they were getting like ratchet with it, dude. Like people just coming in and out when they want. You know, they're not even guests here. You know, like it just they're trying to put a halt to it. You know. And, I mean, once I'm inside, everything's good. You know, like I don't have to worry about all the weirdo shit out there because I'm gonna try to stay positive as much as possible, which I've been doing. I just, you know, I chill, you know, play my video games or you know, listen to music and just go to work, you know, and think about new ways of like, you know, what can I do in the meantime while I'm in quarantine, you know, whether it be money, whether it be working on myself, because that's key right there, is working on yourself first. And then, you know, make money, you know, that's a given, you know, and try to find ways to make money while I don't have to go anywhere, you know, whether it be like website design or, you know, there's these websites where you can grab like jobs off of and say, hey, can you publish a book? Can you put a picture in there and write a biography and publish it and whatever, you know. I'm just trying to keep myself sane, you know, work on myself. That way I don't lose my mind, you know, because I mean, I can look out my window right around 8 o'clock or so, it starts to get nuts. Like, people walking back and forth with their carts, screaming at the sidewalk, you know, like, you know, ambulances, like, it's like every other hour here, you know, like, nuts, like uncalled for. You know, it's yeah. So I just try to you know, do my normal routine and then add something that betters myself, you know. And it's amazing, like, what you can get done in one day because of this stuff happening too. You know, I was talking to a coworker, like he brought it up, and then I was like, dude, I know what you mean. Like, it makes you want to value life and take care of things more while trying to be steadily calm and not let no one know you're freaking out or anxiety. You know, like it helps. It makes you help realize that, you know, if you can take care of a lot of things. Imagine if this wasn't going on, you know, and you did the same thing, you know, routine, I got to do this, I got to do that. This can happen. I can get so much more done, and it added more to my stature in life on a personal level. I mean, that's something to value, you know, what I think about.
I honestly applaud that.
Good for you, because what you're doing, like, to me, you're doing trying to situation positive. Just
Yeah, it's like your back's against the ropes. What do? You take some punches, assess, and make a move, you know. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm still getting hit with hard punches, you know, like psychologically. But it's like now, because of this group and things I've done in life, I'm understanding how to like maneuver around them. There might be something new, just adapt to it, and then just stay calm, no emotion to it, and then applaud yourself when you made it through, you know.
go for it. Broke like the same scenario where we try to like deal with it in our own ways. Once we find the way that works best for us, stick to it. Nothing wrong with that. Unless the stuff that you're doing is consistently putting you back, opposed to forward.
So, yeah, because you can't live in like a fantasy world. There's nothing wrong to be in a world where you can sit, meditate, and think about higher things in life, but at the same time, make a small little move at least, you know. I get it, you know. Sometimes I like, you know, I come home and I'm just tired and I'm just going to lay down. I'm like, dude, I got to do something. Like, sweep around, organize, you know, put my, you know, just whatever, you know, to keep me centered a little bit. And then take a deep breath, like do the breathing exercise, meditate, and you're good, you know.
Yo, so if anything, if y'all ain't got nothing else that y'all want to drop right quick, like if y'all want to put anything on the record now would be the time to do so. 11 p.m. time. my time. I think 7, 8.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Back tonight.
Yeah, I'll do it live. I'll probably go live in about 30 minutes.
Okay.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, man, I gotta say it all the time, don't get that motherfucking vaccine.
I echo that shit a million times, right?
Mm-hmm. They're gonna. What I've heard, like they want to like mandatorily do it. It's unconstitutional, you know.
Yeah.
But I think Trump says it's unconstitutional, but if they have no control of it, it's going to be issued through the states.
I mean,
they got it through.
Not only is it unconstitutional, but vaccines are unsafe for humans to take anyway. That's
right.
So, a lot of people, religious people, they don't take vaccines and shit. So I don't know how that shit works if you have to switch over telling your certain religion. If they try to make it mandatory.
Something that Night of Thunder had brought up to my attention. I don't know if you heard this yet. Night had brought up the fact that he always wondered why the fuck Bill Gates was such an integral part of this whole campaign with the vaccination and whatnot. Then it dawned on him after the fact. He realized because he was fucking software. He was the guy that created the software. Why is he involved with the vaccines? Then he put it together. He started thinking, he was like, yo, fuck around. The one that's going to make the vaccine be compatible with some sort of software, some sort of thing that when they inject you with it, it's microchipping you. That's why he's so heavily involved, because he's the one that's going to hand within that creates that particular vaccine that has that microchip, the software. That makes sense, man. Big twisted world that we've been living in, and we discovered it's not really what we thought it was. Once we woke to this program, that shit makes sense.
Definitely. Definitely.
That being said,
only thing we can do, bro, is fight this shit.
Get ourselves and try to spread awareness on. Already in. Well, I was saying earlier, I think now I was being illiterate.
I think
things are going, man. Turn this around. And there's people that seem like they're waking up. A lot of people asking questions. Yeah, that's all good, man. But like I said, at the rate that this shit is going and picking up momentum and shit, this shit is going exactly the way they want it.
My God, it's gonna take everybody, bro. If everybody stands down, then they can't lock everybody up. They can probably kill us with the 5G and shit. But like I think if we all stand down, like they'll have no choice but to come at us in a different direction.
Globally, carry.
Exactly.
What are the odds of that happening?
Oh yeah, that was next to none.
That's fortunate. I'm with you on happening.
Go again.
Alright, yo. So I'm gonna shut the call down. Nappy, thank you for always being there, man. Appreciate you. 427, thank you for being here and for your input. Appreciate you too, man. Like I said, I'd like to also thank Matt of Thunder and Nigel earlier putting in their work. Like next weekend with live stream was a little bit like improv and shit, so we kind of freestyled it. Sometimes we like to do that where it goes and it ends up. I think it ended up in a area where just thought provoking coming out. That's a good thing. People outside the box, regular conversation, go into other realms, come back, point and whatnot. I think that you've been successful at getting people to take themselves on. That being said, back RT died in New York City. I don't know.
Yo, you're not as cold as me, motherfucker, stop pretending. I'll murder you in front of your crib like John Lennon. Rip the tendons out of your muscle to cut the tension. I'm beyond your comprehension like related subatomic particles in fifth dimensions. Suspension in your breathing is what I'm leaving until a legion of demons whisper the meaning of life in your ear right before they make your motherfucking life disappear. But just cause you hear the multisyllabic grammatical, don't compare me to rappers that are on sabbatical, cause I never did business in little fucking Italy. I play checkers on triple-decker tour buses in Tripoli. The way that you typically bicker with me inexplicably is a mystery that pisses me off ridiculously, because I'm lyrically beyond your level scientifically, specifically spitting out the spick in me prolifically. I'm the majority of America futuristically. After I die, fuck my music, you'll feel me spiritually. Darker than Sicily, ripping above the averages. You hold no weight like bitches after miscarriages, and your label produces no kids like gay marriages. I'm disparaging every fake dog rap in sight. That's why your faggot ass will never make it into the light. I'll crack your skull when I smash your face into the mic, and now you know what I'm like. I'll shook knight the industry. I feel like the spirit of Nat Turner got into me. You're infinitely hopeless. You sound like shit when you spit lob like Jennifer Lopez. I'll massacre a rich rapper and all his broke friends and go to Club Cheetah rocking some blood-soaked Timbs, party crashing animal fucking model bitches, leaving their stick figure anorexic pussy in stitches. My verbal blitzes that outshine your offense. You watered down nonsense, and I'm 200 proof, choking a local youth in his homemade vocal booth. You're a fucking incompetent killer like Ray Caruth, and I'm Technique, the rawest nigga ever produced. I spit nastier than regurgitating period juice. So burn your fucking rhyme book, stay warm, and put it to good use. I'm about to drop like frozen airplane shit through your roof, and I'm sick of fake hustlers telling lies to the youth. You never robbed Dominicans, and you couldn't sling rocks if you was Palestinian. You broke motherfucker. You cats don't burn rubber. You niggas can't even get a fucking cab like Danny Glover. You ain't hardcore. I'll smack the shit out of your mother. You wanna be gutter? I'll leave you laid out in the street. Sign yours truly, the motherfucking immortal Technique.